Arrested, you were mowing the grass at your mom's house, and even as you're in the car, the white police officer says you're going to be convicted. First, say what you were charged with.
I was first charged with attempted murder, first-degree kidnap, and first-degree robbery. And as we was going toward the jail, they didn't know about a gun. The detective asked me, "Anthony, do you own a firearm?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Do your mother own one?" I said, "Yes." And I told him what kind. And they dropped me off in Dora Police Station, went back to my mother's house. My mother gave them the gun, trying to help me, whatever the case was. And as they got
the gun hadn't been fired in 25 years.
Yes.
So she says, "Here, take this old gun."
Yes, old 38. And when they picked me back up, as we was going toward the jail, I kept asking them, why am I being arrested? They never had to explain to me why I was being arrested. And finally, I asked for the 51st time. I said, "Officer, why are you arresting me?" And this seemed to set the officer off, and he turned around and he said, "You want to know why we're arresting you?" And he told me the charges. I said, "I haven't done any of that." He said, "Well, let me tell you something right now. I don't care whether you did it or didn't do it, but I'm going to make sure you found guilty of it." And I said, "For a crime I didn't commit?" He said, "You must have a hearing problem. Didn't I just tell you I don't care?"
Because he said you're black.
Well, as we got further, he told me, he said, "There's 5 things that are going to convict you. Would you like to know what they are?" And I said, "Yes." He said, "Number 1, you're black. Number 2, a white man is going to say you shot him. Whether you shot him or not, I really don't care." He said, "Number 3, you're going to have a white prosecutor. Number 4, you're going to have a white judge. And number 5, you're going to have an all-white jury." And do you know what that spelled? And he looked at me and he repeated the word conviction, 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 conviction.
And that's how it started.
And even as you were convicted in this sham of a trial, total sham of a trial, you prayed for God's forgiveness for the people that did this. And that was what I think is so amazing about this book, is your grace and your kindness that you then carried out with other men in prison.
Yes.
And the one of the parts that just struck me, and I just have to, is that there'd never been a book club on death row.
No, that's what
And
I
you
love
brought
so
books,
much.
and I underlined, men would do all kinds of crazy things rather than spend another night with their own thoughts. Bring in the books. I thought, let every man on the row have a week away inside a book.
I've often thought books put you in a world that you never thought you could go. And I often would say, I don't need to go to California. Give me a book that talks about California, and I can put it in my head and imagine what it looked like. And I had read a few books on the street, not bragging, and I felt that something was missing. All of us was there to been condemned and been sentenced by the world that we would be better off dead. And so I decided that until that day come, let's live a life of fullness. And let's start it with a book club, and I started and had to go and convince the warden, could I have a book club? And
can you imagine a book club on death row? No. You've got people who are there for convicted of hanging other black people, members of the KKK, and he's gotten those guys reading James Baldwin. He's gotten them reading African American literature.